Introduction. Nagarjuna's Rasendramangalam was originally written in Sanskrit. The copies of this manuscript are available in Telugu, Malayalam, Devanagari, and other scripts. The text was edited only once and published by Bhuvaneshwari Pitha, Gondal, Gujarat, in 1924. In this edition, many misprints and incomplete portion of verses are kept as it is without any attempt to complete the verses. Presently, the book is out of print. The work has 8 chapters, but only first 4 chapters were available in the published edition. I have compared this published edition with manuscripts obtained from the Gujarat Ayurveda University Jamnagar and Rajasthan Prachya Vidya Pratishthan Government Office, Bikaner. The first 4 sections are ready and presented here with English translation and notes. However, the Bikaner miss has been mainly followed by me, and the left-out portion has been completed with the other edition and Jamnagar copy. About the manuscript. Following information on manuscripts will be of interest. 1. Verses in Jamnagar copy have no serial numbers, but the verses are given chapter-wise. 2. Verses in Bikaner copy are serially numbered irrespective of chapters, which run up to folia 15 and verse 216. Thereafter, the serial number is given according to the subject and not according to verses. 3. There are 37 folia in Jamnagar manuscript, 56 folia in Bikaner manuscript. Drugs available in the manuscript are written in Roman. 5. Copier's mistakes are corrected. Proper titles of the subject are also supplied where the copier is silent. 6. As far as I know, the remaining 4 chapters are available in the custody of Wellcome Institute of History of Science, London. Authorship. There were many Nagarjunas referred to in the history of sciences of India. The originator of Mahayana cult, following Bauddha Madhyamika philosophy, is referred to as Nagarjuna. He is perhaps the writer of Kaksaputa, who seems to have followed the Bauddha cult and its theory of Pajnaparamita. The Kaksaputa also refers to a conversation between Ratnagosa and Vatyaksini, which took place in the presence of Nagarjuna. Conversations between Nagarjuna and Salivana is also quoted in Kaksaputa. Site of conversations was Srisaila, which is situated in Andhra Pradesh near Hyderabad, and Nagarjuna Konda, the originator of Sunyava and Madhyamika cult under Bauddha tradition flower. Isht in Salivahana kingdom during 2nd century AD. This Nagarjuna seems to be a different person from the author of Rasendramangalam. Dalhanakarya, the commentator of Susruta, refers to one Nagarjuna as editor of Susruta. He is also a different person. Pandit Kumarajiva had written in 401 AD in Sanskrit on the life of one Nagarjuna. It was translated into Chinese language and is now available. The letter written by Nagarjuna in Sanskrit, Pali, entitled Arya Nagarjuna Bodhisattva Suhileka, was translated into Tibetan and Chinese languages. He was Arya Nagarjuna. A Prakrit storybook, Lilavati, quotes about Nagarjuna Patissa and Kumarila during the kingdom of Satavahana. This is again a different Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna, the author of Rasendramangalam, is supposed to have written another work entitled Rasaratnakara, but he is not the author of Kakasaputa Tantram and Arogya Manjari, though these texts are wrongly attributed to him. Nagarjuna, as quoted in the text of Rasendra Maṅgala 1.1, prays Natva Surendram Sivasokya Dhyakam in his various yogas. Effects of formulas were given in the name of Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, etc. of Hindu cult. Therefore, it is presumed that Nagarjuna, the writer of Rasendra Maṅgala, was a Saiva, different from the author of Kaksaputa. Possibly he also belonged to Siddha cult. The treatise Prabandha Chintamani quotes about him. The Nagarjuna was also a disciple of Padalaptasuri. He was successful in Dhatuvada for conversion of lower metal into noble metal. He was also a good physician. He is believed to have flourished during 7th to 8th century AD. H.S. Sharma. 1. I hereby describe the treatise viz. Rasendramangalam after praying the Lord of Gods who offers prosperity and pleasure to all creatures, as this Rasendramangalam treatise is mainly useful for gaining health, wealth, enjoyment, and salvation, through which the difficult ocean of this world can be overwhelmed. 2. The physician who, after listening this Rasendra Maṅgala, treats cases of illness. His success is sure. There is no doubt, as this lesson was given by Nagarjuna himself. 3 to 5 for the treatment. Mercury and mercurials, along with minerals and metals, etc., are useful. Therefore, in the first chapter, the process of incineration. In second, the process of melting into various minerals. In third, the holding of quicksilver. In fourth, the process of making pills. In fifth, the treatment of all diseases caused through vitiated vata and humors of the body. In sixth, the attractive and odorous preparations of microfine powders. In seventh, detoxification and enema, eye treatment. And in 8th chapter, various classifications are described. 6. In this treatise entitled Rasendra Maṅgala, 8 chapters are defined. Then, after performing invocation at the commencement of this work, it brings good fortune for all. Note, the word rasa denotes a wide spectrum of meanings, more than 51, right from poison to nectar, but here only symbolic main meaning is being adopted. 7 to 17. Now follows the commendation on rasa. There are 8 accomplishments of the human life, viz. Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, Prapti, Prakamya, Isetva, and Vasitva, respectively, minuteness, greatness, heaviness, lightness, attainment, willfulness, lordness, and subjection. Rasa possesses all these faculties and therefore imparts supremacy and completes glory to all human beings. This worldly sea is shoreless, and Rasa gives power to overwhelm it. Is there any other thing that kicks away the old age except Rasaraja on the earth? Not at all. As it is a liquid quicksilver and obtained binded bandha state, it penetrates the minutest particles of the body termed as srotas in Ayurveda. On having fainting, Markita state, it is capable to kick out the multitude of illness that is caused of dosadusya samarchana. On Jarita state, it ruins the life. On Kamita and Ranjita states, it imparts enjoyment and emancipation respectively. On Marita state, if it is utilized, it makes life immortal. On Jalukabandha state, it makes a man like real Kamadeva, the god of love. As this is originated from the ores of mountains, on the Bhasma state, when administered, it gives superhuman power attainable by the practice of penance. This symbol is placed for the technical terminology in the treatment of mercury, details of which is to be referred to respective item. Hence, the subject matter is to deal with the background of prosperity and pleasure for the common public through Rasa and its treatise, Rasaśāstra. The ocean of a life cycle is difficult to overwhelm. Nothing else can be predicted providing pity other than the Rasa, because on its natural abhada state it is Rasovaisa, called as Brahma Murti, and on its bhada state is protective of the life termed Vishnu Janardana. Ranjita and Kamita state of Rasa is Isvara, Mahadeva itself. Therefore follow the protector of the earth, who utilizes well the Rasaraja on this earth, if you wish to achieve the attainment of your life free from the ailments. The gain that can be obtained through 100 oblations, donation of 1 crore cows and 1 crore elephants, as well of gold and land. The same dharma is to be achieved by visualizing the Sutaka, Mercury. The Lord of Divine King has obtained the gain of dipping into all pilgrims to the mankind through daily, viewing, touching, and utilizing Rasa. A bunch of pity for a troubled person. Rasendra is like the formation of Sankara or Hari, who is the protector of this world so famous on this earth. The man who does not know the processes of Rasendra, Mercury, how can become a physician, means every physician must know the mercurial processes of medicines, otherwise he cannot get success in the field of treatment. Can anybody sustain himself in the front of an assembly by putting on false costumes and doing forgeries? Not at all. The physician, who does not know the detailed procedure of mercurial medicaments, cannot gain the fame full of pity, means never. O king, may the combination of all herbs be kept by some mischievous way on one side, but that cannot stand in a fraction of 1/100th, but even of 1 croreth in its comparison in front of the mercurial gemnic combinations. The mercury is the only drug that can potentiate for a longer time the power of drugs, originated from botanical, animal, mineral, or marine resources. 18. Experts of the subject narrate various blemishes of mercury, viz. Mala, Visa, Vani, Gurutva, and Kapala, representing natural disproperties of mercury. Impurity, toxicity, non-resistance of heat, heaviness, and quickness are the main natural blemishes, whereas addition of tin and lead into mercury for marketing purpose to increase its weight are also 2 blemishes being told by physicians. 19 to 20. Due to Mala blemish, the mercury is a causative factor of fainting, by Vani blemish burning, from Visa death by heaviness acute pain, through quickness instability, due to 2 powerful blemishes, Naga, the lead, and Vanga, the tin, inflammation of neck glands, and disease termed Gulma respectively, are being narrated by noble men. If one by negligence lick the unbinded mercury, he will be affected by the severe leprosy. Note, this is a very clear indication of the mercurial poisoning with such a detailed research on its blemishes, even classified into different groups. It reflects the depth of research work. 22 to 24. The quicksilver is subjected to A. Fomentation, 2. Tormentation, 3. Calcination, 4. Elevation, 5. Distillation, 6. Stimulation, 7. Limitation, 8. Confination, 9. Transmission, 10. Abortion, 11. Dissolvation, inner melting and outer melting, 12. Oxidation, 13. Morsel size determination, 14. Dying function, 15. Transmigration, 16. Interruption, 17. Metallic penetration, 18. Administration on human body. If one does not know all these processes of mercury, he is harmful for everyone. Therefore, after obtaining the proper knowledge of all these mercurial processes and having assistance of such experts, along with all requisite apparatus, start the rasa karma. 25 to 26. To perform various samskaras on mercury, before subjecting it into the first process, one should take either 2000, 1100, 28.10, or 5 palas of mercury, 90 kilograms or 45 kilograms or 4.5 kilograms or 1.260 grams, or 0.450 grams or 0.025 grams only. No process should be performed on mercury below this level of the weight, as much as half pala or so. All processes must be inaugurated with an auspicious day and prosperous star on the particular time. 27 to 32. Triphala, Citraka, Raktasarsapa, Kumarakanya, and Bharati. A decoction prepared out of these herbs and the mercury duly ticurated into it for 3 days, freed 5 mala blemishes. A paste prepared out of mleka and mercury duly distilled downward and upward for 7 times relieves mercury from its kapalagati, quickness, lead tin, as well as heaviness termed blemishes. Nagabala, Atibala, Varsabu, Mesavisani, and Gananada, the mercury churned 9 times for 3 days is termed as Svedana. 16th parts of true Sanapatu and Rajika, along with 81 times of Aranala, then the mercury is to be taken. For all types of Dhanyamla, Aranala, fermentation 1 should take Girikargi, Meenakshi, Sahadevi, Punarnava, Uraga, Triphala, Kanta, Lagupurni, and Satavari. Try at low temperature for 3 days while rotating the mercury. It gets the Svedana Samskaram. 33. Wool, curcuma, salt, ristaka, sour and good gruel, smoke dust of the kitchen should be arranged on the side walls of upper part due to profuse daily smoky environment of the kitchen where firewood is used. Siddhartha and Rajika mixed with Svedita mercury and tricurated in mortar for 3 days continuously is termed Mardana Samskara. 34 to 35. Rajika, sheep's milk, Kakamasika, Mesa Serngi, juice of black datura, heating with sour gruel the mercury can be fainted 7 times. For such rubbing process, Kankuki, Garudi, Varahika, Nandisvaralata, Sulini, and Sarpavali powders are also to be mixed. Thus, the mercury subjected to previous 2 processes can not only become giddy or fainted, but is being killed by this Merkana Samskara. 36. The so processed mercury be subjected to distillation through Adha and Urdhva distillation apparatuses. This is called Patana Samskara. 37 to 382. Keep the mercury into a mixture of honey, sour, salt, and alkali mixed with gruel for 24 hours. Repeat the same process 3 times. It is Rodhana. Mix karkoti and kanchki together with ammonium chloride and treat the mercury through fire by holding it. This is called Niyamaka Samskara. There is no doubt that through such process the mercury becomes pure and lustrous. 30,912. Kiratlundi, Garudi, Rasikshata, Kranyaka, Kulathi, Vyasi, Asuri, Vijaya, and Jaya are appetizers of mercury. Subjecting the Hg into these herbs becomes Dipana Samskara. 40 to 41 half. When lapis lazuli is impregnated with the juice of Zinzibar officinalis, Lin, Ardraka, and the flower of Sarisa, and be subjected to high temperature, naturally dehydrated cow, buffalo dungs, the precious stone becomes shiningly glorified. This is the purification of Rajavarta. 4112. The Rasaka powder mixed with mercury with the help of the impregnation of the output of menstrual fluid of a lady, rubbing together with lead converts into a colorful string or rope, as the case may be of the measurement. Subjected to a fire pit. Again, mix the product in the same way with the same components, and subject it to a fire pit 2nd time. Thus, repeating 3rd time, the Rasaka becomes purified, colorful, lustrous. 421. The cinnabar powder rubbed with the help of sheep's milk and sour group of drugs for impregnation, and duly kept in hot sun rays for a longer time. While repeating the process, it gets white, beautiful colored vermilion, like on purification at final stage. 43.1. Half minus 44. Half decoction of kulata and kadrava, human urine, vitasa, and sour drugs, alkalis, rock salt, black salt, common salt, juice of banana tuberous root, surana rhizome, having media of these drugs along with ghee on the fire of the ricinus wood. Within 1 puta, the maksika becomes purified, that is Sudha. To purify rasya, uparasas, and other upatatus, repeated impregnation of firstly alkalis, then fats, and then sours are sufficient. Vimala gets purification by treating it twice with the juice of banana root. 48 to 49. Jalamuli, Ganarava, Karira, Kira, Jambir, juice, Nira, Kapi, Kapivetsa, these drugs with gruel, Raktupala, rabbit's fat, oil of the horns of deer. The mika boiled into these drugs becomes pure like mercury. Syama, Sami, Madana, Kodrava, Masaparni, Sarangi, Gatobhava, Ganadvani, Vitasa decoction of Kulatha. The mika decocted with these for 3 days becomes fully purified. 50. Vikranta mixed with Patu, Vasa, Vorsa, and Mega on subjecting for fermentation 7 times with decoction of Kodrava and Kulatha along with sours, urines, and alkalines, purifies rapidly within 3 days. 51 to 52. Very thin copper sheets are to be coated with the milk of Vajri and salt and place it on fire after. Fully heated dip into juice of Nirgundi. Repeat this process of immersing heated copper sheets 7 times. Juice of Mesika alone is sufficient for purification of copper. Amla Vetasa along with Danyambu and Mesitoya purify copper. 53. Kapala and Datus duly impregnated with juice of Jambira and duly fomented into Karkoti and Sarangi fluid decoction and becomes purified. There is no doubt about it. 54. Panka myrtica impregnated with juice of bijapurka fruit for 3 days and then mixed with black salt, hence placing gold leaves and the mixture, layer by layer, in a mud pot and subjecting on fire as putapaka purify gold. 55. Silver is being purified duly melted with the help of ksataraja, which is very commonly available, and poured into pisasi oil 3 times. Note, here nagana is not with lead. If lead is mixed, then impurity will increase. Therefore, sodium plus ajena joining is proper. 56%. It is not a matter of surprise that the copper becomes white like moon or conch shell. Melt copper with the help of commonly available alkali, that is borax, and subject it into the milk of sheep and its ghee. On its melting, add 16th part of orpiment in it. The copper will be converted into whiteness. 57 to 59, 1/2. Hence take the copper duly extracted from bronze, or take as such, and melt it with the help of borax 6 times to it. Pour into juice of sinduvara. For 50 times repeat the process, then melt in the same way. Pour 7 times into juice of kusmanda. There is no doubt that the blackishness of copper vanishes on these 57 times immersions. This copper appears like a beak of parrot or flower of Butia frondosa in color, and on cutting it is red, and on heating it is shining soft, and thus free from blackishness. 6012. Rub the leaves of brass with alkali, jaggery, hamsapada, and paste of laksa, caucus laka, and paste kankusta and nisa on it, and blow the fire. On repetition 7 times the same process. Brass is purified. 61/2. To purify silver, brass, copper, and bronze, the alkali borax, mixed with 5 types of salts, and rubbed with juice of lemon very well, then coated with the paste of same drugs and subjected to fire in a pit of individual metal is the process. Repeat the same for 7 times. On the pretext of bronze, the same process is described for other 3 metals also as enumerated. 6212. Hansava, Balya, Amrita, Ratnamalika, Trimalon, Tumburu, Lohaninaka, Gopalika, Gorasana, and Gadushi. These drugs are alternatives of jiridosa from iron. Note, to wipe the blemishes, certain samskara, the purification procedure, is essential. It is being done subjecting the material into water, fat, cooling, heating, fomenting, triturating, etc. The iron mixed with the paste, and decoction of the said drugs when impregnated and incinerated becomes purified. 632 to 642. Garifala, Rajani, Ksuraka, Kubarabija, Tumburu, Malikaksara, Palasaksara, Mayurajaksara, and the lactex of Kulisa tree. The lead impregnated and subjected to immersion after heating it with the help of above drugs 7 times becomes purified. Noble person says that while treating naga, the lead in the Dolyantra through the media of alum, water, is stable, on fire. 65 to 65 1/2. Arka, Unmara, Snuhi, Halini, Kambuki, Raktamala, Gunja, Vanhi, Surapati, Sura, Ingudi, Asvagandha. These drugs are rubbed with buttermilk, form a paste. The tin is purified, stabilized through this combination, named Jyotisa. Note, here ends the first chapter, in which only methods of sadhana, purification, for various drugs, highly utilized for the treatment of human ailments through mercury and mercurial compounds, are described in the very beginning of this text. In the original text, no verses are numbered, but here, for counting and clarifying the purpose, the serial numbers are given. Here ends the first chapter. 1 to 172. There are 7 processes for melting diamond and kimberlite. Make a paste of mesazaranga, bone of serpent and tortoise, black bitumen, snuhi, talaraja, menstrual fluid, human milk, and the ash of kantapasana, and mix the scraps of diamond or kimberlite in it. Prepare small cakes and dry. Place them in the requisite earthen vessel, and subject this on high temperature. On getting body temperature of these cakes, powder them and subject it on blowing fire and get melted. Then pour it into the kudrava and kulatha mixed horse urine until it becomes up to an ash form. Change the horse urine mixture every time. This is called kapalika yoga for melting and incineration, calcination of diamond. It is as well useful for Vikranta, Tapya, Tamra, Naga, Tixna, and Kantasma. Mix scraps of diamond with the latex of Vajri and Arka along with borax. Well pasted and rubbed, then dried material is to be kept in crucible, is to be subjected on the blowing fire of Kadira wood of Kadachu. On repetition of 100 times of the same fusion process, the diamond is calcified and colored. The flower of Agastya and the first menses of a youthful girl and Gorasana, well triturated with scraps of diamond, and then subjected to roasting, calcifies it. Keeping same procedure of the first process, merely changing few drugs up to the preparation of cakes, viz. Kantasma, Mesasiringa, Silajatu, sulfur, trialkalis, orpiment being rubbed with latex of Snuhi and Arka is a change, entitled Vajraka Yoga for Dravana and Marana of diamond. Similar to the first and fourth process, only change of cake preparatory drugs, viz. Varuni, Mesazaringi, Vajravali, Mahodadi person's feces, rats, fecal matter. 3 main alkalis and 5 subalkalis, latex of Vajri and Arka, is a nice fusing process of diamond entitled Virunyidi Yoga. The process of incineration on high temperature and blowing fire along with pouring drugs as in first process remains identical. Menstrual fluid, feces of rats, Ganda Mesazrangi, Gatabava, Kulata, Kodrava, and urine of horse are enough for roasting purpose of Vajra, diamond, and Vikranta, kimberlate. This compound is entitled as Yogaraja because it is good for calcination of mica and fusion of all ores, dhatus. A prepared packet of diamond scraps under Rasaśāstra, subjected on steam bath for 7 days, melts diamond.
Trimalon, Vanhi, Balabala, Bhuvali, Gopa, Indraka, Marvahaka, Sarbindiki, Mandalikaraja, Ahakoja, Aswaganda. Dvimuki, Punarnava, Dinarika, Surnakanchi, Kitar Nigoksarika, Pata, Unmataka, Langalika, Vira, Xaratraya, Panchalavina, Kulata, Veta, Saviraka, all types of ores duly fomented with. Decoction of all these drugs then mixed with sulfur and borax, then form in the big ball shape.
Extracted metallic part out of them is termed Sattvapatanam. 23 to 252. Moksaka, Maratha, and Palasa burn all the 3 into ash and get the alkaline substance of them impregnate with cow's urine. Then add Vajraka ingot mold powders with phala, emetic nut, borax laka, honey with juice of gymnema, and rub the kimberlite powder in all. Make balls and dry. Subject it on very high temperature, blown into dumb crucible. Extract the metallic part of Vikranta without fail. 261. Halves minus 31. Impregnate the pyrite with honey, castor oil, fresh ghee, cow's milk curd urine, and dung one after another, and then again with castor oil, along with banana roots fluid. Make balls and let it dry. Subject all on a high temperature under a red-hot crucible. On blowing fire, a serpent-type fire-colored copper like sun, the extract will come out very easily. Latex of cactus and calotropis, woman's breast milk subjected for impregnation, followed by the first procedure, will extract the pyrite without fail, similar to the first procedure, while a change in drugs of impregnation viz. Kenkusta and borax with the human milk, isophys for obtaining the extract of pyrite. The pyrite powder cooked in steam bath of gruel, then roasted with honey, ghee, and tremelin very well, then impregnated with latex of cactus and mixed with kitchen smoke, ghee, and honey, subjected on the blowing fire under dumb crucible will give the extract like copper. The pyrite very well impregnated with the fluid of banana root, then roasted with ghee, honey, and castor oil, and added with 3 alkalines. On the same line, not only pyrite, but rasaka too leaves the extract, i.e. Sattvatanam, 322 to 332. Rasaka duly impregnated with various milks, fats, and sours mixed with wool, lac, pathia, bulata, and dupa, blown under dumb crucible with borax, leaves extract resembling to lead, tin. There is no doubt in it. 34. Orpiment added with resin, mustard, and drumstick seeds along with lac, molasses, salt, and borax is to be melted underground in Bularaputa. 35. The juice of drumstick and gatabava used for impregnating realgar and followed by the process as described. For orpiment, releases the extract like gold. 36 to 38. Powder of the iron pyrite is to be rubbed with sigru juice, kangsi, kasisa, tankana vajrakanda, and juice of banana, root for impregnation. Then mix the alkali of moksaka and subject it on a blowing temperature in mukamusa, the dumb crucible. There is no doubt in obtaining a shining white coppery colliered extract. Note, in nature, the pyrite contains iron, copper, and sulfur elements. Every ore contains some element. Sulfur is also found as an ore. Ores are composed of some metal, silica, and other elemental ingredients, whereas sulfur itself is like an extract by nature. Therefore, no such method of extracting metals is given for sulfur. After observing the sulfuric fumes from pyrite, the special line is written as the second half of the verse 38. On having oxidation by blowing process on fire, the kufies appears to be lustrous like mercury. Actually, it is of silvery copper-colored extract, termed as candrachum here. 391 halves minus 46 1/2. Triturate the mica powder with the juice of the flower of agastya and place into the scraped rhizome of sarana and fill up the rhizome with its piece scraps again. Hence, cover it with a cotton cloth and put into a pit prepared under the cow pen for 1 month. It will become like water. Mica powder impregnated well with cow's urine and, duly heated, poured into the powder of kapatindu, becomes like Hg, and mixable in rasa by proper methods. Mica powder equally to kakini and gunja fruit powder, mixed well and duly impregnated for 7 days with latex of snuhi and blowed on fire, becomes liquid. Mica powder rubbed with juice of red lotus stalks becomes watery, then duly kept in kusumpika oil, remains for a longer time stable like rasa. The powder of kankuki kanda duly impregnated with nijaras converts all lohas, metals, alike water, by Drudy process and mica too. Mica powder melts duly mixed with the powder of ukata and impregnated with the juice of cactus, vajravali. The process of mixing both is to be continued for a fortnight and then incinerated in sarava again and again. fat and bones of rabbit and frog with a rainy season's red-colored insect viz. Indragopa, with the help of saliva of horse rubbed together and incinerated converts gold, mica, like a water stable for a prolonged period. Gold, mica, duly impregnated with nijarasa and duly incinerated in suradali powder becomes melted. It never regains the originality, may it be for a long, long time. Note, here on the subheading of melting mica, last two processes are named kanaka. The mountain ebony is named the same. Mica may be the product of it. The melted mica is designated with the similes of rasa, water, and its synonyms. A detailed note on this subject is given in the appendix entitled Druti, 472 to 482. On the tree itself, fully ripened fruits of amalaka are pressed, and juice is mixed with iron scraps, rubbed and impregnated for a week, and churned again and again, then kept into a hemispherical bowl of earthen pot, and again mixed with kinkuki juice and kept into earthen caskets and blown on fire very well, melts the iron. It forms like rasa. 492 to 502. All metals become clean and useful for reducing corpulency on impregnating well with panasa fruit juice and strongly triturated with fluids of sour group drugs. Alone mercury is enough for melting everything. What more if it is added with three other visvitasa, amla, and gruel? 512 to 562. Impregnate pearls into acidic fluid of vitasa for 1 week. Thereafter keep into the pulp of jambira lemon fruit and dry it in the heap of any grain, then subject to pudapaka. This process entitled Yogaraja cover pearl as a fluid, and it is a very good liquefier of gems. Here is enlisted few single drugs and compounds very useful for converting lohas metals into irreversible. State of basma, maybe metals hardened like a diamond. No name of metal drugs for incineration compound vajri juice and lead, lactic of snuhi and pyrite, goat's milk and sulfur, palasa and orpiment, latex of arca and relgar. Single 1. Gold lead 2, silver pyrite, rasa 3, copper sulfur 4, tin, orpiment 5, lead 6, sharp iron relgar cinnabar human milk and cinnabar. These metals after proper incineration achieve the state of rasibhavanam, that is colloidal state. If this is tactfully administered, these are alleviatives of various diseases. And if these are utilized on a regular basis, it protects undue graying of hair, formation of disease, and degenerative process of aging. Here ends the second chapter of Rasendra Maṅgalam.